When we see a flower, our first thought is usually about how beautiful it is or how nice it smells. And sure, that's all true, but that's not the whole story, not even close. We're missing the most incredible part. The part where the flower is actually a piece of high-tech machinery built for one very specific, very important purpose. So, behind all that color and fragrance, what is a flower really trying to do? It's not just sitting there to look pretty for us, it has a mission. So, what is its real job?
Well, its job is to make more plants. That's it. A flower is one of nature's most sophisticated, most elegant, and most effective reproductive machines. So today, we're going to pop the hood and see exactly how this incredible machine works. Okay, so before we get into all the wild and crazy variations, we've got to start with the basics. We need to understand the standard model, what botanists call a perfect flower. Think of this as our blueprint. Right at the very heart of this machine, you've got the fertile parts. There's the male component, which is called the stamen, and the female component called the pistil. These two parts are the engine, the gears that make the whole thing go.
Let's look at the stamen first. It's made of two key bits. You have the anther on top, which is basically the pollen factory, just churning out all that pollen. And then you have the filament, which is just the stalk holding that factory up, nice and high for pollinators to bump into.
And then, on the female side, you've got the pistil. Right at the top is the stigma, which is the sticky little landing pad designed to catch pollen. Once a grain of pollen lands, it travels down that stalk, the style, to get to the ovary at the bottom. And inside the ovary are the ovules, the future seeds. Now, wrapped around that reproductive core are the parts we tend to notice first, right? This is the perianth. It's made up of the petals, the big flashy billboards, and the sepals, which are those little green leaf-like things that protected the whole operation when it was just a bud. So here's the key takeaway. When one single flower has both the male parts, the stamen, and the female parts, the pistil, it's called a perfect flower. It's an all-in-one reproductive package. This is our baseline. But as you can imagine, nature loves to customize. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Let's look at how plants have taken this basic blueprint and evolved some incredibly clever hacks, all designed to give them an edge in the reproductive game. Okay, so take a corn plant. It throws the perfect flower idea right out the window. It uses imperfect flowers, which just means it physically separates the male and female parts. That tassel you see way up at the top of the stalk, that's the male flower, dropping pollen everywhere. And the ear of corn that grows lower down, that's the female flower. Every single one of those silky strands is a stigma, just waiting to catch a grain of that pollen from above. But what if you're a plant with perfect flowers, and you really don't want to pollinate yourself? Well, you can use a timing hack. It's called dichogamy, and it's brilliant. It just means the male and female parts in the same flower mature at totally different times. It's a fantastic strategy to make sure you're mixing your genes with another plant. And plants pull this off in two main ways. First, you've got protandry, which is male first. The flower releases all its pollen before its own stigma is even ready to receive any. You see this in things like walnuts and coconuts. And then you have the opposite, protogeny, or female first, where the stigma is ready and waiting before its own pollen is released. Think bananas, figs, and avocados. Oh man, and the avocado just takes us to a whole other level. It's incredible. On day one, an avocado flower opens up and it's in its female phase. Then it closes for the night. The very next day, that exact same flower opens up again, but now it's a male, shedding pollen. The entire tree coordinates this 24-hour gender switch. It's just mind-blowing. Of course, all these clever timing tricks don't mean a thing if you can't get pollen from point A to point B. And to do that, you have to master the art of attraction. So for a minute, let's look at this whole thing from a pollinator's point of view. This is where that perianth we talked about comes back in a big way. The petals and sepals are basically the flower's marketing department. It's their entire job to use color, shape, and scent to create the perfect advertisement to lure in a very specific customer, whether that's a bee, a bird, or a bat. And shape plays a huge role in this. The earliest flowers had what's called radial symmetry, or actinomorphic. Think of a daisy. You can slice it like a pizza any way through the center and get two equal halves. But over time, many flowers evolve to have bilateral symmetry, or zygomorphic, like an orchid. There's only one line you can draw to get a perfect mirror image. So why the change? Why go from a simple star shape to something more complex? This quote just nails it. Bilateral flowers evolved to match the way their pollinators see the world. Animals, insects, birds, us, we all have a clear left and right, an up and a down. Flowers literally evolved their shape to match that perception. It's like creating a custom-fit landing pad. And there is no greater master of this kind of targeted advertising than the orchid. I mean, just look at this thing. This is an ophrys orchid. It has evolved to not only look just like a female bee, but it also produces a scent that mimics the pheromones of a female bee. It's a complete deception, designed to trick male bees into, well, trying to mate with it. And in their confused state, they end up pollinating the flower. It's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so this is all really cool biology, but you might be asking, why does this matter to me? Well, it turns out that understanding all this floral machinery is absolutely critical for our food supply. This stuff is on your dinner plate every single day. Let's go back to corn and its separate male and female flowers. We figured out how to exploit that system to create hybrid corn. Farmers will plant rows of one corn variety that they call the male rows next to rows of another variety, the female rows. Then they go through and physically remove all the tassels from the female rows. This is called detasseling. That way, the female plants can't self-pollinate. They can only be pollinated by the wind-carrying pollen from the male rows, creating a brand new hybrid seed. And pecan farmers have to deal with that timing problem, dichogamy, all the time. Turns out some pecan varieties are male first. They release all their pollen early. And other varieties are female first. Their female flowers are ready long before their pollen is. So if a farmer only planted one type of tree, they'd hardly get any pecans at all. The solution is actually pretty straightforward. You just have to plant both types of trees in the same orchard. As you can see here, farmers will plant what they call type I varieties, like Pawnee, which are male first, right next to type 2 varieties, like Kanza, which are female first. It's that simple. By doing this, they make sure there's always pollen in the air at the exact time some other trees' female flowers are receptive. It's all about managing that timing. So then next time you walk past a flower, maybe take a closer look. Don't just see the petals. See the machine. You're looking at a piece of technology honed by millions of years of trial and error. The flower is a true masterclass in evolutionary engineering. And it just makes you wonder, right? What other kinds of hidden machinery are out there working away right in our own backyards?